So you're wondering why I'm all dressed up with somewhere to go. I am here at the Harvard Center in Birmingham, Alabama, where they're celebrating the legacy and the journey of Joe Jenkins, who put together the first Magic City Boys Choir, Magic City Boys and Girls Choir, and the Magic City Kids Choir. And so tonight we celebrate him and the wonderful lives that he has touched. This is going to be a very special day. And he even touched my daughter. She was also in that group of amazing young voices who have now matured to be young men and women. You're going to take a ride with us on this journey of music. I'm Shelai Smoot. The Shelai Smoot Show starts right now. Welcome into the Shelai Smoot Show, and I just have the privilege and honor to talk to someone that I've been talking about for a couple of minutes now. So let's meet the man behind the music. It is Joe Jenkins. How are you?
I'm great.
Man, we're all dressed up because we had somewhere to go, and this was the alumni reunion for all your choirs. Magic City Boys Choir, Magic City Kids Choir, Glee Club, Magic City Boys and Girls Choir, Girls Choir, Concert Choir. Tell me about how this journey started.
Well, you know, it started with a vision while I was working in Detroit, and I didn't pay much attention to that vision until I moved to Birmingham and started working with, I started working with boys and girls singing at Holy Family. And I discovered that the boys had a different sound than the girls. And as soon as I heard that, that vision came back to me. And so that's when probably God touched my shoulder and said, remember the vision? Now let's get it started.
It's been 31 years as of this day, and congratulations to you have Joe Jenkins Day.
Make it a federal holiday.
Yeah, June 21st. You should get more holidays. You've done a lot with people's children, a lot of them coming from backgrounds and maybe had the means, didn't have the means, didn't have a dad, didn't, had a lot of single moms, and then some single dads, who had their kids for the weekend. But musically, you took these kids on a journey of disbelief. Take me to the first choir and what that vision was.
Well, the first choir was 19 boys that did the first summer camp. They didn't know what to expect. It was a lot of hard rehearsal because they had to learn how to read choral music in that one summer. And at that time, it was 2 months. We were at New Pilgrim Baptist Church. They went through that training. They went through the rites of passage. And they also played little orff instruments. That was part of their training as well. And so those were the charter boys, and John Mark was one of them. And so they were the start of this great organization. Yeah.
What was next after that boys choir? I mean, they always looked so well dressed. They looked like they were on their way to a cocktail party without cocktails, maybe chocolate milk. But they just looked so amazing. But the sound, how did you get that sound out of children?
It's not easy, okay? The boy's voice is a very delicate voice, and you have to catch it at the right time before it peaks. And so you're working with it until it peaks, then it starts going down into their chest voice. So you actually have 3 years to do that. And after that, the voice starts to fall in their chest voice. So having them to sing high all the time nurtures the voice. And so that's the point when you want to have them sing in a choir. Yeah.
Let's transition to the next phase. You add girls. Why?
Because they harassed me.
As women
They said the boys are getting all the attention and now we want some of this. And so I was a little bit reluctant, but I gave in, and I'm glad because that's how the concert choir was born. And that concert choir went all over the country getting awards. Of course, the boys choir went to Europe and did very well 2 times in Europe. So everything was good.
How did you travel with these children? What was that? What made you say, I can take these choirs out of the state of Alabama, not only out of the state of Alabama, but I could take them to Paris, I could take them to Italy. I mean, from Alabama, I think people are in awe of you because they did do that. They did go over, and they were winners in their competitions. And it was unusual to have all black boys perform, or girls, and from varying backgrounds, varying parts of this area. But you were able to master that. What is the key to that?
Music is the central gathering point, regardless of what communities they came out of and their backgrounds. They all sing the same songs. They all get the same training, and they all have the same aspirations, and we achieve together. So at that point, the background, the communities where they come from don't matter. It does, but it doesn't. It matters because they found an outlet where they can achieve a level of standard that they probably never knew they could. So that's when it matters. But the fact that when they all get together, it's unified, that's the most important thing, and they bought into that. And so in terms of traveling, we had a strong parent group. Right, and that gave me the confidence that I can travel with these kids and protect them and not have to worry about it as much, because wherever they went, the parents went along as well.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. You're going to hear from some of the folks and some of the children who are now adults, and some of the mothers who participated on this whole journey with Mr. Joe Jenkins and the Magic City Boys and Girls Choir, the alumni chapter of it. Stay tuned for this. Listen to that.
Oh, share your blessings with the world. Let the world see Jesus in you.
Truly let the world see Jesus in you.
Welcome into the Shelai Smoot Show. I'm Shelai Smoot. It's good to have you here. We just heard some spectacular voices, but you know, with those voices, and we're going to get to the leader of all this and the founder and chairman of all of what happened. But first, let's talk to some people who have been there with some of the choirs and some of the moms. Now, you were one of the moms. Your daughter Taylor was in this, but you were there for like over a decade.
Right, I was part of the choir for 10 years as the choir coordinator and choir mom. I actually got him to create the kids' choir.
You did create that kids' choir. Second grade, they were starting, you were able to train them that young. What made you put your daughter in something like the Magic City Boys and Girls Choir and then the kids' choir?
Well,
She's one of the original members.
Right, I discovered that she could sing while in church one Easter Sunday. And she decided that that's what she wanted to do. And as I asked around, one name kept coming up, and that was Joe Jenkins. But prior to that, everyone kept telling me to send her to Mountain Brook or Vestavia. And I was thinking surely there would be some excellence on the west side, since this is where I live. And then I heard about Mr. Jenkins. I don't know if you remember, but at that time I was a part of the Birmingham Arts Council.
Oh, yes, I do.
And so this gentleman came in raising money, and he told me about the choir. But when I heard about it, it was a middle school, and I was thinking, why are you training them in middle school when 4 years you'll be losing them? I gave him the suggestion of a kids' choir, and he followed it.
And it was good.
And so I put as a vote of confidence, I put my daughter in the choir.
What do you think this choir has done for so many of these kids now who are adults? I mean, they've moved on, the choir is now non-existent, but what has this choir did for you and the kids that you saw here today who are now adults, have families and those things? What does something like this do with a community and for a community?
Firstly, Sheila, you know I was single parent. Mr. Jenkins was very instrumental in creating some stability in my home in terms of the father figure. And then I knew of some kids who had lost their parents in the midst of being in the choir. And so he served as a father figure for a lot of young people. The second thing is that it gave them something to do that was controllable. You know, as long as she was in that choir, they're happy. You know, most of the kids were very shy. And you remember that. They were very shy. And so they had people like themselves to be able to fellowship with. All of a sudden, they weren't the nerd. They were the cool kids.
They were the cool kids and famous. That choir was so famous. I want to thank you, Kimberly Chapman, for your service and for being here tonight on this fabulous night as we celebrate the Birmingham Boys and Girls Choir alumni, their parents, the grandparents, and Joe Jenkins. You can't even go wrong. Thank you so much for joining
And I
us.
just want to say thank you because, and allowing us to help with your daughter as
you
well,
did.
because I was her choir mom
You
too.
were.
And you know, it's wonderful when people trust
village.
you with their children.
And I did. I trusted you with my child. It was a village, and the journey was real, and the struggles have been real. But you know what? We do know one thing: they got good foundation.
Yes.
So I want to thank you, her second mom. She had 20 of them. She says, "Mom, somebody." I said, "Just listen to the choir moms." Adios. See you in 2 hours. So, and it was at Birmingham Southern. You know, we practiced at Birmingham
was
Southern,
at
which is now
Birmingham
closed.
Southern.
And and on the west side, just the
And
the travel
sometimes
that you
Thursday,
did.
Friday, Saturday,
The Blitz.
and Sunday.
The Blitz.
Yes.
So I just want to thank you for this wonderful night. It was amazing. Can you believe these kids still sound like this as adults?
I know,
I was just blown away
They
tonight.
really need to start a choir.
They
of
do.
their own.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Shelai Smoot. We'll be right back right after this. Okay, Jonathan, what choir? You were one of the first
I was a charter member. I was a charter member
of just the boys' choir.
of the boys' choir. And I mean, like the picture that he showed of us at that first picture, like that was my mom in the back with a cassette player as our company. You know, despise not the day of small beginnings, as the Bible says.
Yes.
And again, having the privilege of being a member of New Pilgrim Baptist Church. So he was not only, you know, the minister of music, but also my piano teacher for a period of time, as well as, you know, allowing me to be a part of the boys' choir when it started.
You know what? You know just the journey you were on. Talk to me about just briefly. You were one of the choirs that went over to another country.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that?
That was amazing, and funny enough,
As kids.
as children. And so what was great about that for me was I had actually aged out of the choir at that point in time. So I was the accompanist for the choir, because I grew up as a classical pianist, and so I went to Italy as an accompanist for the choir, and so that was great for me because even though I had aged out of the choir, because we were so close still, and I was at the same church, so I was able to still be a part of that trip, and it was phenomenal. We went all throughout Italy. I mean, literally, it was a phenomenal experience. I still think of it to this day.
I bet you do. And I want to ask you about being in a choir like this. You were at Birmingham Southern practicing. They gave you the facility. You were on the West End, and you had to stand for long periods of time. I don't know how you guys did that, but it was very impressive. But what does a experience like that do to a young man at that age to become who you are today?
You know, my father was in the military, and you know, the word train. You think train up a child in the way he should go. When you think about the reason you hire a personal trainer or anybody to train you in an area, it is because you need someone to help you be accountable to certain disciplines that achieve the best possible version of yourself. And so when you're young, you don't know a lot of things. You don't know how to do certain things or how to behave in certain areas and how to do certain things. And musically, you don't know a ton of things. And so to be in a place where it was literally we were trained almost like soldiers, and soldiers in the army of the Lord. You know, no, but seriously, we were trained to be not just musicians, but to be disciplined and appropriate young men. And so it was a really wonderful experience. It was great because that training has carried me into all types of rooms that I knew how to be in because they weren't new to me. And so to this day, when I get invited to do things overseas and when I get to travel around the country, I'm never in a place where I heard somebody say once, he said he had a huge blunder in his life, and afterwards he said, I found myself in a moment I hadn't been mentored for. And I'm so grateful that I had mentors and teachers like Mr. Jenkins who prepared me to do the things God had for me to do.
Quickly, as we wrap up this part of this segment, you mentioned something about today's culture, today's young men, today's teenager, today's, what are we missing that you didn't miss? Because some of the things that are happening with this culture, with this youth group, you said, hey, has to do with not maybe having what you had as a child with Joe Jenkins and the Magic City Boys Choir?
I think if I had to choose one word, it would be discipline. I have 5 kids, and I love my children. I play with them, but at the end of the day, God requires me to discipline them, to train them up, and I feel like there is a lack of discipline, and so because of that, the standards, what is right and what is wrong becomes very muddy. What is appropriate and what is inappropriate becomes very muddy, and people begin to make their own decisions about certain things at an age where they don't know better, and because there aren't a lot of older people mentoring and training up children, you just start to see that. So you have a lot of there is a grace to be young, right, which is fine, but that grace is there so that you can be disciplined as you grow into it. And so right now I feel like, and I think it's evident all around, there are a lot of people who are living at a level of maturity that is much younger than their actual age. And so you have adults making childish decisions. When I was when I was a child, that's what right. But when you get older, you have to put away childish things, and I think you have to have adults to tell you that's childish. You need to put that away. And if you don't have somebody saying, they're just gonna keep doing whatever you do. I mean, if I could eat cake all day long and nobody told me that, you know what I mean? But mom said no, you have to eat vegetables. You have to do, and so you have to be trained. And so anyway, that was a long answer, but I think discipline is missing, and a lot of times when discipline does come, it doesn't come with love. It comes in the form of sometimes abuse, sometimes from harsh, mean-spirited words, not from people like Mr. Jenkins. Like, I'm telling you this because I love you and I want you to succeed. So I'm gonna help you be the best possible version of yourself. And it comes with that heart, then you receive it. But if it comes with, you stupid, you messed up, blah, 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 blah. And so discipline and love, I think, are missing. Was it Stevie Wonder's song, Love's in Need of Love Today?
Love is in need of love today. Yeah, so. Thank you so much. You are definitely a product of Mr. Jenkins, and we see it. We see it. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
All right. So you heard some incredible things about this incredible man of music who took some children on a journey, and now they're just doing so well. One of your members, Jonathan, he was sitting here and talking about what is going on in our, John Mark, talking about what is going on in this community today. He says that we're having some of the problem with our youth because of the lack of training, discipline, and excellence. Does the music and did the music prepare these young men and women for whatever they might face? At least they have an opportunity to find a solution. Do you think that's missing today?
Absolutely. Music was the platform, and music was what attracted them. But once we got them, then we started working on their character, discipline, mentoring, all the good stuff that goes with making up a productive citizen. And they can take that anywhere. But music was the platform, so it was 2 for 1. They learned how to achieve musically, achieve excellence through music, but they also learned how to develop character as well. But music was definitely the platform that allowed us to do those other things as well.
Do you think the lack of arts in some of our schools in this area, the lack of really honing in on the music is a disconnect? Because people, I noticed some of the parents tonight, they were talking about how when they found you, they were searching for something.
Right, most definitely. In most communities, you got music and you got sports. And so the non-athletic people, they're searching for something where they can have a voice or have a chance to assert themselves. And when they come to me, a lot of people say, well, I can't sing, I can't do this. I believe everybody can sing. You may not be a soloist, but you can sing. And so that's what we try to do. We taught them all to sing. Now, the ones who are gifted in, a solo voice, then they end up getting the solos. But collectively, they all participated and were able to sing. So yes, we need more of that because, like I said, music is the platform. Now, you got athletic platforms like Little League Baseball, Little League Football, soccer, all that stuff. And coaches do the same thing that I do. Once they attract the young people to their platform, whether it's athletic or musical, they start to teach character. Well, they should anyway. And that's one of my hallmarks in the choir. You're going to get mentored, Christian mentorship, as you enjoy learning the music. And coaches should be doing the same thing. And I'm sure they do.
Where does the journey take you from here? You're no longer, it's been, what, a decade since, and there's a void in this area with these type of choirs. I mean, you may have a choir at the schools and you have this show choir, but this choir was so special and so different and so dynamic. Where do you go from here? I know you're doing some other things. Talk to me about that.
Right. Well, the music school, Music for Kids School, is where the choir was born. And a lot of the kids took music lessons at the school. They took voice lessons, drum lessons, piano lessons, and they eventually end up playing for the choir and so forth. So I'm passing the torch to either proteges of mine, members of the choir who have that musical aptitude to start a program where young kids today can do what they did when they did it. There is a void. But the most important thing is that if you start to do this, you got to have commitment, vision, loyalty, time, patience, all the good stuff that goes into working with kids. And if you don't have that, it may not be as successful as you want it to be. So because there's a void, I'm not sure how many people have that kind of commitment to want to do this because it's hard work. And you have to attract the kids and the parents, and they have to trust you.
And they trusted you. How many
Yeah.
kids came through this choir?
300.
300
Over the years.
voices, personalities, girls and boys, now men and women. Are you proud of some of your proteges?
I am very proud. They're doing great things, not only in music. Doctors, lawyers, they were all here tonight. School teachers, psychologists.
You have some people
Yeah.
in New York, don't you? There's somebody all
Everywhere.
over.
Yeah.
They've taken this talent to.
Came from Chicago, New York. They're all over. And I was so proud for them to come back to do this celebration because we've not had this.
You've been talking
So
about it for
deserving.
years.
Yeah.
Are you happy that you finally built this up?
Absolutely.
Last thing, what did you see tonight? What was the moment for you? I mean, was it the moment when the full choir got over? The voices were so, it was so powerful.
Yeah. It showed that the training they still have, they understood what to do. The directors were superb. That was a special moment for me. And for John Mark to sing one of the songs that I wrote, Share Your Blessings with the World, that's what we do. Yeah, we learn it and then we share it.
You learn it and you share it. So, parting shots, what do you want to tell those young men and women, those voices? What do you want to do? What do you want to tell them and their parents and all the people in this community who remember how famous, and you said something tonight, they are famous.
Yeah. You can't have a legacy if you're not famous. And you can only be famous if you have a reputation and longevity. So they had that, and we celebrated that tonight. And so we're going to go forth. They're going to take their legacy with them because they're the beneficiaries of that legacy, and they're going to start their own vision wherever they are. And the Magic City Boys and Girls Choir is going to live on through them.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you making us all a part of your journey, part of your village. You created a whole nother village. And folks, he did come in from Detroit to Birmingham. So you knew what to do. That was just something, like you said, you had the vision. But there are visions that really do become reality. And we just want to thank you. I want to thank you because it was a journey, but it was a good one. Absolutely. So thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you.
And folks, as you can see, hey, I'm Shelai Smoot, Joe Jenkins. It's been a pleasure. And we thank you for tuning in today. I'm Shelai Smoot. Don't be a sucker, be a consumer, and take a listen to this. We'll see you next week. The Shelai Smoot Show is brought to you by Fairway Mortgage for all your mortgage needs. Call my girl Haley Morse at 205-534-4188. The Walk-In Closet in downtown Bessemer. Memory Lane for all your special sports shoes, and the Western Hills Food Truck Stop Thursday through Sunday. The lot is hot.